I stand at my kitchen window, ceramic coffee mug warming my hands against the November chill seeping through the glass. The morning routine I've perfected over 5 years of professional independence crumbles the moment I glance down at parking spot #34B. Empty. The space where my forest green 2022 Subaru Outback should be sitting stares back at me, oil-stained concrete mocking in its bareness. I blink, set down my mug, lean closer to the window as if proximity might materialize the vehicle I made the final payment on just last week. My first thought is logical. I parked somewhere else. But no. I remember clearly pulling in at 6 p.m. yesterday after the site visit, grabbing my portfolio from the passenger seat, the satisfying chirp of the alarm setting. The building doesn't allow overnight street parking. Towing requires notice. My phone feels heavy as I dial building management. This is Florence Wilson in 4B. My car's missing from my assigned spot. Let me check the overnight log. Keys click. No towing authorized for your space, Miss Wilson. You might want to file a police report. The words land like stones in my stomach. I thank the manager, end the call, and immediately dial my mother. Surely Meryl will share my alarm, offer comfort, suggest calling the police together. Morning, honey. Her voice bubbles with unusual cheer. I was just about to call you. Mom, my car's been stolen. It's gone from my parking spot. Oh, honey, relax. We gave it to Griffin. He needs it more than you do. My hand tightens on the phone until my knuckles go white. What? He just got his license back after that silly suspension. Warren drove over this morning with the spare key you gave us. Griffin has that interview at Kellerman's across town. You know how unreliable the buses are. We figured you're so capable. You'd work something out. You always do. The casual dismissal in her tone triggers something deep in my chest. A memory surfaces unbidden 17 years old. Acceptance letter to the prestigious Whitmore Architecture summer program in hand. $2,000. My parents sitting across the kitchen table, Warren shaking his head. We just don't have it, sweetheart. You understand. I understood. Swallowed my disappointment like medicine, told myself they were doing their best. 7 days later, Griffin's gaming console mysteriously broke. Warren drove 2 hours to the specialty store, returned with a custom gaming PC. The receipt I accidentally saw while taking out trash. $2,500. He was just so sad, Meryl explained when I stared at the new setup. You're the responsible one. You get it. I got it. I always got it. The responsible one. The one who understood. The one who never needed what Griffin needed, because I was more capable. My phone buzzes with incoming texts as I stand frozen in my kitchen 13 years later. From Meryl. Don't be selfish. From Warren. It's just a car. Family helps family. From my Aunt Catherine. Your mother says you're upset? You wouldn't ruin Griffin's chance, would you? My hands tremble as I screenshot each message. Methodically. Carefully. Then I walk to my laptop, upload everything to my cloud storage. The trembling stops. My mind crystallizes around a single thought. Not this time, I whisper to my empty apartment. I think about Meryl's practiced manipulation, how she called me capable while stealing from me. Warren's part in this, the man who drove across town at dawn to take my property. Estelle will call soon, I know, voice dripping with disappointment about family values. And Griffin? Griffin, who lost his license driving drunk, who hasn't held a job in 3 years, who assumes the world owes him whatever he needs? They planned this, kept my spare key, waiting. Assumed I'd cave like always because that's what Florence does. I always sacrifice. I understand. I make it work. I pick up my phone again. My fingers don't shake as I dial. 911. What's your emergency? I need to report a vehicle theft, I say, my voice steady as steel. I have the names of the perpetrators, and written confession. They're my parents. Officer Miller arrives at my apartment at 9:15 a.m., exactly 90 minutes after my 911 call. He's younger than I expected, maybe early 30s, with the kind of neutral expression that probably serves him well dealing with family drama masquerading as criminal complaints. I have everything ready on my kitchen table. File folders, laptop open, phone charged and unlocked. Miss Wilson? He pulls out a notepad. You reported a vehicle theft? My 2022 Subaru Outback. Forest Green, parking spot 34B. I slide the physical title across the table. As you can see, I'm the sole owner. His eyebrows rise slightly as he examines the document. Most people probably don't have their car title this accessible. But I've been organizing important documents in labeled file folders since college, a habit that's about to pay dividends. And you believe your parents took the vehicle? I don't believe it. I know it. I turn my tablet toward him, insurance documents filling the screen. I'm listed as the only driver. 5 years of payments from my personal checking account. I pull up my banking app, scrolling through the documented history. Final payment made November 8th, last week. Miller writes steadily. And they had access to the keys? I gave my family a spare key for emergencies. The word tastes bitter now. Legitimate emergencies, medical situations, not grand theft auto to enable my brother's latest failure. I show him the screenshot compilation. Meryl's texts glow accusingly on my screen. We gave it to Griffin. He needs it more than you do. Your parents admitted to taking it? Miller's professional mask slips just enough to show genuine surprise. In writing, multiple times. I swipe through the evidence. My mother orchestrated it. My father, Warren, physically took the vehicle using that spare key. They positioned my brother Griffin as some kind of helpless victim who needed rescue. He just got his license back after a 2-year DUI suspension. Miller's pen moves faster. And your brother knew the vehicle wasn't his? Griffin knows I paid for that car the same way he knows the sun rises east. He just doesn't care. I pull up more texts. Within minutes of my conversation with my mother, extended family started messaging me. Aunt Catherine, Uncle Robert, all recruited to pressure me into accepting this. The officer studies my face. Why didn't you just ask for the car back? The question hits exactly where it's meant to, because asking implies negotiation. This isn't a disagreement about borrowed property. This is theft of a $30,000 asset by people who assumed I'd be too afraid of family drama to enforce my rights. My phone buzzes. I glance at the screen. My boss, David, returning my earlier call. Excuse me one moment. I step into my bedroom, door half open, so Miller knows I'm not fleeing. David, I'm so sorry, I'm going to be hours late. What happened? You never call out. The humiliation burns. My car was stolen. By my parents. For my brother. I'm currently giving a police statement. Silence stretches 3 heartbeats too long. Jesus, Florence. Take the time you need. Is there anything we can do? I have that client presentation at 2, Riverside Development. My voice cracks slightly. The promotion committee meets Thursday. This is exactly the wrong time for... The presentation can be rescheduled. Your family just committed a crime against you. We'll handle it. I end the call before the pressure behind my eyes can become actual tears. When I return to the kitchen, Miller has moved to the texts documenting the conspiracy. Your mother uses the word gave repeatedly, he observes. She's careful with language. Gave sounds generous. Stole sounds criminal. I sit back down, hands steady now. But the law doesn't care about her word choice. The car title cares. The payment history cares. The fact that neither she nor my father nor my brother called to ask permission cares. Chloe Jenkins texts. On my way. ETA 20 minutes. Don't you dare take the bus. Relief floods through me. Chloe's a junior architect at the firm, 7 years younger than me but somehow more emotionally competent than my entire family combined. The powerlessness of needing a ride to work like I'm 16 again makes my jaw clench. Miller closes his notepad. Miss Wilson, I'll be honest. Family theft cases are complicated. But you've documented everything I'd need for a conviction. The title, the payments, the written confession. He pauses. Are you sure you want to pursue charges against your parents? I want to pursue charges against everyone involved. Griffin for driving a stolen vehicle, Warren for taking it, Merrill for conspiracy. Each name lands like a gavel strike. This isn't about a car. It's about 30 years of being treated like my property and boundaries don't matter because I'm supposed to be the understanding one. Understood. He stands. I'll file the report. The vehicle description will go out immediately. If your brother's pulled over. When he's pulled over, I correct. Griffin drives like traffic laws are suggestions. Give it 6 hours. After Miller leaves, I sit alone in my kitchen. My coffee's gone cold. The morning light has shifted, no longer illuminating the empty parking spot quite so dramatically. In 12 hours, I've gone from dutiful daughter to family destroyer in their narrative. My phone buzzes. Chloe again. Pulling up. I grab my work bag, lock my apartment, and meet her at the curb. Her Honda Civic idles warm and safe, NPR playing softly through the speakers. I slide into the passenger seat, and the reality hits me. I'm being driven to work, like a child, like someone without resources or autonomy. First time they've done something like this? Chloe asks gently, pulling into traffic. I laugh, and it comes out bitter and sharp. First time I haven't let them. The clarity crystallizes completely in that moment. This was never about transportation. It's about respect. About whether I matter enough to be asked before my property is redistributed to someone they value more. I'm prosecuting all three of them, I say aloud, testing how the words taste. Chloe doesn't even blink. Good. You want me to be a witness? I can testify about how upset you were when you called. Would you? Florence, you drove me to the hospital at 2 a.m. when I had appendicitis last year. This is the absolute least I can do. By the time we reach the office, the police have already issued the BOLO. Forest Green 2022 Subaru Outback, plates on file, comprehensive evidence package forwarded to the prosecutor's office. It's a small victory, but it's mine. The lobby ambush happens at 12:30 p.m. I'm reviewing structural calculations for the Riverside project when Chloe appears at my desk, her expression tight. Florence, your mother's downstairs. My stomach drops. What? She's in the lobby, demanding to see you. Chloe keeps her voice low. Security called up. She's making a scene. I save my work with hands that want to shake but don't. The elevator ride down feels both eternal and too brief. Through the glass doors, I can already see Meryl center stage in our firm's marble lobby, her voice carrying across the space designed for quiet professionalism. How could you? She's addressing the receptionist but projecting for everyone within 50 feet. Call the police on your own family? My colleagues freeze mid-stride. Sarah from accounting stands motionless by the coffee station. Two junior architects I've been mentoring hover near the stairwell, their faces reflecting pure second-hand embarrassment. You're sending your brother to jail. Meryl's performance hits full volume as I push through the doors. You monster. The receptionist, Maria, who always remembers my coffee order, glances between Meryl and security with obvious distress. Her hand hovers near the phone. Our security guard, Robert, approaches from his station, uncertainty written across his weathered face. Every instinct I've developed over 30 years screams to shrink. Apologize. Make this stop. Make it quiet. Instead, I walk straight toward her. My heels click against marble in the sudden silence. Meryl's performance falters when she sees me, then ramps up again. Florence, honey, we need to talk about... This is my workplace. My voice comes out level, professional. The voice I use with difficult clients. I don't look at my colleagues. I look at Robert. Please escort this woman out. She is trespassing. Meryl's mouth drops open. Actual shock crosses her face. She expected tears. An argument. The old Florence who would have rushed her outside, desperate to contain the damage. You can't be serious. Her voice loses its theatrical quality, turns sharp. Real. I'm your mother. And this is private property where I'm employed. I turn to Maria. Please note that Meryl Wilson is not authorized to visit me here. Security should remove her immediately if she returns. Chi. Robert moves in smoothly, decades of experience guiding him. Ma'am, I need you to leave the building. Florence! Meryl's shriek follows me as I turn back toward the elevators. This is ridiculous. We raised you better than this. I don't respond. Don't turn around. The elevator doors close on her voice, still echoing through the lobby, cutting off mid-accusation. My hands start shaking in the ascending elevator. Back at my desk, I expect whispers, judgment. Instead, Hannah from the junior architect pool appears beside me within minutes. My dad stole my identity when I was 22. She keeps her voice quiet. Opened credit cards in my name. I had to sue him to clear it. I stare at her. Hannah with the bright smile and perfect family photos on her desk. Sometimes family is just people who hurt you, she continues. You did the right thing. Throughout the afternoon, they keep coming. Tom mentioning his sister who borrowed $5,000 and disappeared. Maria sharing her brother's gambling problem that nearly cost her house. Stories emerging like water finding cracks, each one a small acknowledgement that I'm not alone in this. At 3 p.m., our senior partner, Richard Morrison, appears at my desk. My stomach clenches. Florence, a word? His office overlooks the river. Floor-to-ceiling windows, sleek furniture, the space where careers get made or broken. He gestures to the leather chair across from his desk. I heard there was an incident at work today. Yes, I keep my voice steady. My mother trespassed. Security handled it appropriately. Richard studies me over his reading glasses. Chloe mentioned you're dealing with some family issues. Vehicle theft? Heat crawls up my neck. I apologize for it affecting my workplace. You're apologizing? He leans back. Florence, you had security remove someone who was disrupting our office. That's exactly what you should have done. He pauses. I'm more concerned about you. Take whatever time you need. Your work speaks for itself. The tightness in my chest eases slightly. Thank you. The Riverside project can wait a few days if necessary. Family crises take precedence. Walking back to my desk feels different. Lighter. Chloe's organized a lunch delivery from the bistro down the street so I don't have to leave the building. IT stops by to offer blocking my family's numbers from the work phone system. Small protections building a wall between my professional life and the chaos trying to bleed into it. The call comes at 4:45 p.m. from Warren's personal cell, the number I can't block yet without seeming paranoid. You've lost your mind. His bellow makes me pull the phone from my ear. Several colleagues glance over. I walk to the small conference room, close the door. Tearing this family apart over a car? You stole my car. We borrowed it for your brother. You're going to send him to prison? He stole my car, while on probation. That's on him. After everything we've done for you. Warren's rage distorts his voice. We supported you all these years. Put a roof over your head, food in your mouth. Name one time. The words emerge cold. Certain. One specific time you supported me as an adult. Silence stretches across the line. I wait. The spare key. He finally sputters. We kept it safe for emergencies. And used it to commit theft. Anything else? More silence, his breathing heavy and frustrated. I'll tell everyone you've lost your mind. He threatens. The whole family, cousins, aunts, uncles, they'll know what you've done. Go ahead. I'm surprised by how calm I sound. Tell them I reported a felony. I'm sure they'll be fascinated. I end the call before he can respond. Chloe drives me home, refusing my protests. In my apartment building's lobby, the manager, Mr. Patel, stops me. Miss Wilson, I have security footage from this morning if you need it. A man matching your father's description was here around 6 a.m. Thank you. I'll get you the detective's information. Upstairs, Mrs. Patterson from 4C catches me in the hallway. Saw your father this morning, dear. Looked angry. You all right? The concern in her weathered face nearly undoes me. I'm fine. Thank you for checking. An hour after I came back, Rachel also came, college roommate, law school graduate, currently corporate attorney. She's brought wine and Chinese takeout. Chloe texted me. Rachel hands me a glass. I have a criminal defense attorney for you. Former prosecutor. She'll eat your family alive. My phone buzzes. A group chat forming. Team Florence. Chloe, Rachel, Hannah, Maria. Messages of support flowing faster than I can read them. I'm not alone in this anymore. Officer Miller's call comes at 6:47 p.m. Miss Wilson, thought you'd want an update. Your brother was pulled over doing 80 in a 55 zone about an hour ago. My wine glass pauses halfway to my lips. Vehicle's been impounded. He's in custody. Miller's voice carries grim satisfaction. Speeding in a stolen vehicle while on probation for DUI. His blood alcohol was .02, zero tolerance violation. Everything inside me goes still and focused. Your parents are listed as co-conspirators based on your evidence package. The DA's office is very interested in this case. After the call ends, I sit alone reviewing bank statements, calculating the impound fees I paid, $1,150, the towing, my Uber to work this morning, the missed client meeting that Richard graciously rescheduled. I pull out a fresh notebook, start documenting. Every cost, every consequence, every message still flooding my phone from family numbers I haven't blocked yet. Estelle's name appears on my screen. My finger hovers over the decline button. The old Florence would answer. Brace for the guilt. The disappointment in her grandmother's voice. I let it ring. Screenshot the missed call. Save it with the others. Evidence. All of it evidence. My phone goes silent. I pour another glass of wine and return to my calculations. They wanted war. They're getting documentation. The next morning, the call comes at 8 a.m. sharp. I'm already awake, coffee growing cold in my hand as I review my documentation one more time. The courthouse number flashes on my screen. Miss Wilson? This is Assistant District Attorney Peterson. His voice carries skepticism like a scent. I sit straighter at my kitchen table, setting down the mug with deliberate care. Thank you for calling. I have to admit, Peterson says, in 15 years prosecuting, I've never had someone request criminal charges against their own parents. The pause stretches. He wants me to backtrack, to laugh nervously and say it's all been a misunderstanding. I stay silent. You understand what you're asking? Full prosecution for vehicle theft. Against your mother and father. They stole a $30,000 asset from my designated parking space, using a key I'd entrusted to them for emergencies. My voice doesn't waver. They enabled a probation violator to take that vehicle and drive drunk. Do your job, Mr. Peterson. The silence changes quality. When he speaks again, the skepticism has shifted into something sharper. Interest. I'd like you to come in. Bring everything you have. 2. My phone buzzes the moment I hang up. Grandmother Estelle. I let it roll to voicemail, watch the notification appear. 3 more calls follow in quick succession. Uncle Robert. Aunt Catherine. Cousin Sarah. The voicemail from Estelle plays automatically when I check. Florence Elizabeth Wilson. I am deeply disappointed in you. Your parents made a mistake, but family forgives. This vindictiveness is beneath you. Uncle Robert's text arrives while I'm listening. Your mother is devastated. Is this really worth destroying the family? I screenshot both. Add them to the folder labeled Evidence, Family Pressure Campaign. 17 items now. Every guilting message, every accusation, every attempt to make me the villain for refusing to be their victim. Cousin Sarah's Facebook post pops up in my notifications. Someone tagged me. Praying for families torn apart by cruelty. Some people value money over blood. So sad. Screenshot. Save. Document the timestamp. I don't comment, don't engage. Just preserve the evidence of their coordinated attack. My phone rings again. Meryl this time. I almost decline, then reconsider. Answer on speaker. Recording app already running. You need to stop this insanity right now. No greeting, no pretense. Do you have any idea what you're doing to your father? To Griffin? I know exactly what I'm doing. This is about a car, Florence. A car? You're going to send your brother to prison over a car? No, Mom. Griffin's going to prison because he drove drunk. Again. You're facing charges because you committed theft. These are your choices, not mine. We're your parents. You stole from me. The line goes quiet except for her breathing. When she speaks again, her voice has gone cold. You'll regret this. The whole family knows what you're doing. You'll be alone. I already was, I say, and end the call. 2 hours later, I'm sitting across from Peterson in his office. The file I've brought takes up half his desk. Bank statements proving 5 years of payments from my account. Insurance documents showing sole ownership. Screenshots of text messages where Meryl admits to taking the vehicle. Call logs proving they never asked permission. Peterson flips through page after page, his expression shifting from professional courtesy to something resembling admiration. You've essentially done our job for us. I'm an architect. Documentation is what I do. He reaches Griffin's arrest report. His eyebrows rise. Blood alcohol content of 0.02. Zero tolerance violation for probation. Third violation, I correct. The first 2 were technical. This one comes with mandatory sentencing guidelines. Peterson looks up at me. Really looks, seeing past the dutiful daughter they expected to the woman who's spent a week building an airtight case against her own family. Your parents' text messages are practically a confession. He taps the printouts. And your brother incriminated himself on a recorded jail call. I know. I listened to it. Griffin's slurred voice still echoes in my head. You know I needed that car. You have money. The entitlement so thick I could practically taste it through the phone line. Miss Wilson, we can take all 3. Vehicle theft, conspiracy, aiding a probation violator. But I have to ask, are you certain this is what you want? I think about the architecture program I never got to attend. The gaming PC that appeared days later. The pattern of sacrifice and entitlement, spanning 13 years. My voice doesn't shake. I'm certain. Then we'll proceed. Peterson closes the file. I'll be in touch about court dates. And Miss Wilson? You might want to prepare yourself. This is going to get uglier before it gets better. He has no idea how ugly it's already been. I pay $1,150 at the impound lot that afternoon. The clerk processes my card without comment, but her eyes hold questions she's too professional to ask. I sign the release forms, take the keys. She slides across the counter. Walking across the gravel lot, I spot my Subaru in the third row. Even from a distance, I can see it's wrong. The proud vehicle I detailed every month sits lower somehow, diminished. The driver's door opens with the familiar click, but the smell hits me like a fist. Stale beer, cigarette smoke, fast food grease. The pristine interior I'd maintained looks like a frat house aftermath. Cigarette burns mar the passenger seat. Burger wrappers litter the floor. The steering wheel feels sticky under my hands. I pull out my phone, start documenting. Photographs from every angle. The ashtray I never used, now overflowing. The mileage showing 400 extra miles in a single day. The gas gauge sitting on empty. The oil change light glowing amber. Every violation gets cataloged, time-stamped, saved to cloud storage. This isn't just my car anymore. It's evidence. Proof of how little respect they had for what was mine. My phone rings while I'm photographing the back seat. The jail. I almost don't answer, then remember Peterson's words about Griffin's recorded call. I accept. Stay silent. Florence? Florence, I know you're there. You have to fix this. Griffin's voice carries that edge I know too well. The one that appears when he's not getting his way fast enough. I needed that car. You know I needed it. You have money, you could have figured something out. I say nothing. Let him fill the silence with his own destruction. That job interview was real. Okay, fine. I got fired 6 months ago, but I had a real chance. My buddy could have set me up with something. I just needed to get there. The admission lands like a stone. No job interview, just another lie in a lifetime of lies. He'd been driving to see his dealer friend. I realize. The extra 400 miles suddenly making terrible sense. Say something. You can't just let them do this to me. To Mom and Dad. We're family. Griffin. I finally speak, my voice level. You stole my car while on probation and drove it drunk. Mom and Dad helped you do it. These are the consequences. You're going to regret this. When I get out. I hang up. Add the call to my evidence file. Consider mentioning the threat to Peterson, and decide it's unnecessary. Griffin's rage is impotent now. The system has him. That evening, Estelle calls again. This time I answer. Your parents aren't speaking to each other. Her voice trembles, frantic. Meryl called Warren weak. Warren blamed her for pushing too hard. Florence, you have to stop this. You're tearing the family apart. No, Grandma. They tore it apart when they stole from me. I'm just refusing to pretend it didn't happen. But they're your parents. And I'm their daughter. That should have mattered more. I hang up gently this time. Pour myself a glass of water. Sit at my kitchen window looking down at parking spot 34B, where my Subaru sits exactly where it belongs. My phone glows with notifications. More family members weighing in, more accusations, more evidence for my file. Peterson calls at 7 p.m. They want a plea deal, all 3 of them. What are the terms? That depends on you. What are your conditions, Miss Wilson? I pull out the list I've been preparing since the day this started. 3 pages of typed requirements. Restitution, public acknowledgement, probation terms, no contact orders. But most importantly, the thing they've never given me freely. Respect. I'll email them to you. I tell Peterson. Take your time reviewing. I want every word exactly right. Because this isn't just about my car anymore. It never really was. 2 weeks crawl by like cold molasses before the courthouse date arrives. I stand in the marble hallway at 8:45 a.m., studying the directory board even though I know exactly where courtroom 3B is located. My attorney, Patricia Hernandez, stands beside me, reviewing her notes. She's been worth every penny of her retainer. Florence. Meryl's voice cuts through the morning murmur of attorneys and defendants. I don't turn. Patricia's hand touches my elbow, a silent reminder that I don't have to engage. Florence, look at me. We're still your parents. Now I turn. Meryl looks smaller somehow, her usual polish dimmed. Warren stands behind her, arms crossed, face set in that stubborn expression I know too well. Griffin slouches against the wall, 26 years old and radiating teenage sullenness. You'll regret this forever, Warren says. Not a threat exactly. A pronouncement, like he's stating an inevitable fact. Griffin pushes off the wall. I'm your brother. How can you do this to me? His voice cracks on the last word. For a fraction of a second, something in my chest tightens. Then I remember my empty parking spot. The cigarette burns in my upholstery. 400 miles on my odometer in a single day. Patricia steps between us. My client has nothing to say to you. I suggest you save your words for the judge. She guides me toward the courtroom doors. I don't look back. Inside, the benches fill with familiar faces. Estelle sits in the front row on their side, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. Uncle Robert. Aunt Catherine. Cousin Sarah, who posted that Facebook rant about family loyalty. They're all here, a united front of blood relations who never asked for my side of the story. I sit alone on my side. Just me and Patricia. The emptiness should feel lonely. Instead, it feels clean. Judge Margaret Torres enters at 9 a.m. sharp. She's younger than I expected, maybe 50, with steel gray hair pulled back severely. Her expression suggests she's already tired of family drama cases. Case number 2024CR8847. The clerk announces, the state versus Griffin Wilson, Merrill Wilson, and Warren Wilson. Assistant District Attorney Peterson stands. Your Honor, the defendants have agreed to a global plea arrangement with specific conditions set by the victim. Judge Torres looks over her reading glasses. This is the vehicle theft case involving family members? Correct, Your Honor. The victim's brother stole her paid-off vehicle with assistance from both parents. The defendants wish to plead to lesser charges in exchange for meeting the victim's 3 conditions. I'm listening. Peterson nods at Griffin. First, the primary defendant must plead guilty to theft, not unauthorized use of a vehicle. Second, he must read a prepared statement, admitting the crime in open court. Third, the co-defendants must plead no contest and pay full restitution of $1,150 within 24 hours. All 3 accept 12 months probation and a no-contact order with a $5,000 penalty per violation. Judge Torres studies the paperwork. The courtroom holds its breath. I can feel Merrill's eyes burning into my back. These terms seem reasonable given the circumstances, the judge finally says. Mr. Griffin Wilson, please stand. Griffin rises slowly. His public defender whispers something, but Griffin shakes his head. He pulls a folded paper from his pocket with shaking hands. Read the statement, Judge Torres instructs. Griffin clears his throat. Once, twice. I, Griffin Wilson, admit that I stole my sister's 2022 Subaru Outback. His voice is barely audible. The judge leans forward. Louder, please. I, Griffin Wilson, admit that I stole my sister's 2022 Subaru Outback. Stronger now, but humiliated. I knew the car was not mine and I took it without her permission. I knew this action was theft. The word theft catches in his throat. Not borrowing, not using. Theft. The specific word that matters. The word that makes it real. Merrill's sob echoes through the courtroom. I don't turn to look. Those tears aren't for me. They're for herself, for the respectable image crumbling around her. Warren and Merrill Wilson approach the bench. My parents stand together. Warren's jaws clench so tight I can see the muscle jumping. Merrill keeps dabbing her eyes, performing grief for an audience. You are charged as co-conspirators in this theft, Judge Torres says. Her tone has cooled several degrees. How do you plead? No contest, Warren growls. No contest, Merrill whispers. Restitution of $1,150 is ordered, due within 24 hours. 12 months probation for each of you with monthly compliance checks. And let me be clear. The judge removes her glasses, meeting their eyes directly. Parents who steal from their children deserve every consequence they receive. This court sees no difference between your actions and those of common criminals. You used a position of trust to commit theft. That makes it worse, not better. Warren's face flushes deep red. Rage and shame battle for dominance in his expression. Merrill's mask slips for just a second, and I see real fury there. Not remorse, not regret. Just anger at being held accountable. Griffin sways slightly, finally understanding that his parents can't save him from this, that their protection has limits, that actions have consequences. I sit perfectly still, hands folded in my lap. Patricia squeezes my shoulder gently. Behind me, the family witnesses shift and murmur. Estelle's tissue falls silent. Uncle Robert won't meet my eyes when I glance back. Cousin Sarah is staring at her phone, probably deleting that Facebook post. They heard the evidence. They heard the judge's words. They can't unhear them. The clerk announces the next case. We're dismissed. I walk past my family without a word. Outside, I breathe November air that tastes like freedom. 3 days later, a courier delivers an envelope. Inside, a check for $1,150. Meryl's handwriting on the memo line reads simply, "For Florence." No, sorry. No acknowledgement of wrong. Just my name. Like this is a birthday gift instead of court-ordered restitution. I deposit it electronically, add the envelope to my evidence file. That evening, Rachel brings wine to my apartment. We sit on my couch, my car keys visible on their new hook by the door. "How do you feel?" she asks. "Sad," I admit. Underneath the satisfaction. Is that weird? Just came in. Not even a little. Rachel refills my glass. They made their choice. And I made mine. Through my kitchen window, I can see parking spot #34B. My Subaru sits there, steering wheel lock gleaming in the streetlight. It will be there tomorrow morning. And the morning after that. Nobody's coming to take it away. 8 months roll by before I realize I've stopped checking my phone every time it rings. The knot that used to form in my stomach when an unknown number appeared? Gone. I stand at my kitchen window on a Sunday morning. Same spot where this all started. Same ceramic mug warming my hands. But now, when I look down at parking spot #34B, my forest green Subaru sits exactly where I left it. The steering wheel lock gleams in the morning sun. That small red bar across the wheel costs $30. The GPS tracker hidden under the dash costs $200. The peace of mind knowing my car will be there when I need it? I can't put a price on that. My phone buzzes. Estelle's name lights up the screen. I answer on the third ring. Florence. Her voice carries that careful tone people use when testing thin ice. Your mother misses you terribly. I take a slow sip of coffee, let the silence stretch. Estelle taught me the power of a meaningful pause, though she probably didn't mean for me to use it against her guilt campaigns. They're still on probation, Grandma. Surely after all this time. They have my number when they're ready to apologize. I keep my voice level, kind even. For the crime itself, not just the consequences it brought them. The silence on her end speaks more than words could. She knows. They all know now. That courtroom confession stripped away any remaining pretense that this was about a simple misunderstanding between family members. I understand. Estelle finally says, and for the first time in my life, I think she actually does. Monday morning, I walk into the architecture firm's main conference room as Senior Associate Florence Wilson. The promotion came through 6 weeks ago. My colleagues stood and applauded when the partners made the announcement. Chloe grabbed my hand under the table and squeezed. Nobody mentioned the family drama that could have derailed everything. They respected what I'd done instead. Now I lead the downtown development project I used to assist on. Younger architects seek me out during lunch, ask questions about boundary setting that have nothing to do with structural engineering. My story became something I never intended. Proof that standing up for yourself doesn't destroy your career. Sometimes it saves it. The letter arrives on a Tuesday, exactly 1 year after the court date. Griffin's handwriting shakes across the envelope, my name and address barely legible. I recognize the penmanship from childhood birthday cards, back when Mom made him write thank you notes for gifts I'd saved up to buy him. I open it standing by my mailbox. No excuses, no requests. Just 3 paragraphs admitting he's in therapy twice a week, attending AA meetings, working through why he thought the world owed him my property. He takes responsibility without asking me to forgive him or respond or do anything at all with this information. I fold the letter back into its envelope, file it in my desk drawer at home. Progress noted. No response needed. Maybe never needed. That choice belongs to me now. Friday night, Rachel and Chloe arrive at my apartment with Thai food and a bottle of wine. We've made this a monthly tradition. These dinners with the family I chose rather than the one I was born into. Other friends cycle through depending on schedules. Tonight it's just the three of us. My sister tried but it's Christmas guilt trip, Rachel says, spearing a piece of chicken. I told her my apartment holds 6 people comfortably, and she makes 7. Boundaries holding? Chloe asks. Like fortress walls. We clink glasses, share stories of relatives who finally stopped calling, cousins who apologized months later, parents who learned that love requires respect. My story isn't unique at this table. That realization comforts me more than any family reunion ever did. Later, alone in my apartment, I pull out my journal. Old habit, new purpose. I write about the patterns I've broken, the lessons that cost me a family but saved my sense of self. I write about that architecture program I never got to attend at 17, how I built this career anyway. Despite them, not because of them. My success belongs to me. Nobody else gets to claim credit. Before bed, I install the final piece of my security system. The spare key that used to hang on my parents' hook sits in my safe deposit box now. Every protection the law allows, I've purchased. Insurance policy updated with complete theft history. Documentation filed and backed up in 3 locations. My last journal entry ends with words I need to see in my own handwriting. Family isn't who you're born to. It's who respects your worth. Blood doesn't grant access to your life. Love doesn't require self-destruction. I saved myself. I'd do it again. I close the journal, turn off the light, and sleep soundly.